welcome back to Studying on Spotlight. And today episode we have Mayfield here with me. So I have Vicky, the Director of International Admissions here. So hello to you.
Nice to see you.
I'm so excited because as an old girl, I finally get a chance to meet Vicky in Hong Kong. So today probably we're just going to talk about the school, or maybe in general, what or maybe the topic of what's it like to be a Mayfield girl, or what makes a Mayfield girl.
Okay.
So speaking from your perspective and my perspective as an old girl. So
okay. Do you want me to start, or will you like to give your perspective of what it's like first of all?
I just want checking on everyone's okay. Everything's doing good in Mayfield.
Yeah, I mean, I only started at Mayfield a year ago, so I'm sort of relatively new to the school, but I've worked in another girls' boarding school for 17 years before that, so my background is very much in girls' education, and I'm very much a staunch supporter of girls-only schools. And I think Mayfield embodies probably what's best in all girls' schools, that it's large enough to give girls the opportunity to do a lot of different subjects and activities and try new things, but it's small enough that all the girls know each other and it feels like a real community. I think because it's a Catholic boarding school, even though the girls don't have to be Catholic to go to the school, it embodies that ethos of caring and looking after each other, which I think is probably the most special thing about Mayfield.
What differentiates us from the others as well, especially with our mottos, action, not words. So that sentence still stick in my head for pretty much my lifetime, to be honest. So it's very important because, as you mentioned, the school is not that big. It's about around 400 students.
400 girls, that's right.
Yeah, and really, when my time in Mayfield, really, everyone knows each other. The staff and even the catering staff, the gardeners, even from Andrea, the Beckett, the ladies in Beckett, everyone knows each other's name. And so it's really close community and really reflecting the Catholic ethos and the belief of the school. So what's the core value, what's make it different, and what for the girls in studying Mayfield?
I think for international girls, who are coming to a country a very long way from home, some of them have never been to the UK before, it's quite a big culture shock for them. And I think having that close sort of family guidance of the teachers and the staff in the school, because we are standing in for their families when they're such a long way from home, I think that does play a very important part. I know for students who come perhaps for A-Level, it's less important than those who perhaps come at 11 years old. But even so, my feeling has always been that we are there to nurture and to support the girls, and that we're in the position of their parents because they are a long way from home. And our job is to sort of act as a bridge between home and university. So we're really preparing the girls to become independent thinkers, to stand on their own 2 feet, to be able to look after themselves. So, they do a lot of life skills when they're at the school. So they'll learn how to do some cooking, they learn how to do their own washing, so that when they do go to university, they are independent and they can look after themselves, not just manage their own time study-wise, but, outside the classroom as well. It's really important, isn't it? And I'm sure you found that when you were there.
Yeah, because I remember it really a place that encouraged to find our passion, Mayfield does, because it's offer a wide range of extracurricular as well as the curriculum, the subjects as well. I remember, well, maybe I'll just share a bit my background, because I joined in Mayfield 2010, so I stayed until 2016 to finish my A-Level.
So a long time. And
went to University of Manchester to do fashion marketing. So often people ask me why I study fashion marketing in Manchester. So the big contributors from Mayfield, because I really find what I love. And when I first got know about Mayfield, I didn't really think it would be an option for me, because my mom was like, well, you're going to the UK, so she has 3 categories. So one has to be the southern part of the UK, another one has to be in girls' school with any religious affiliation will help. That's a plus. And then I think my mom is looking for an all-rounded school, a very caring, nurturing environment for me. So I think that's when I went on the website we shortlisted a few schools, and then we went on the website, and I saw Mayfield on the web page. It has a picture with like sunshine beaming on the girls, very lovely, very positive, and girls very confident. and just having a big smile and really attracted me. And then I saw it offers ceramics as a subject. I didn't really think much because I never thought it could be a subject in the UK or maybe in my education, because in Hong Kong it's more extracurricular activities. But then eventually I took ceramics as my GCSE and then I just loved it and carried on for my A-Level. So I did Cambridge PRU for A-Level and as well as textiles. So I really love textiles. I started as extracurricular activities and then later on as part of my PRU projects as well. So that's how it led me to finding my passion in doing fashion marketing.
Fantastic. Yeah, because it's not the traditional pathway, I would say, from most Hong Kong and Chinese students. But the ceramics program has become so popular in the school, and they've set up a partnership now with a ceramics workshop in China. So they're doing exchanges.
Yes, you're right.
With so we've got some girls going out to China in half term. This October half term, they're going to spend a week doing a ceramics workshop. So I think it gives them a really good depth of knowledge. And also the textiles, I think, is an amazing department. I mean, the work that they do there, you might not think that you're ever going to go in for something like costume design or fashion design, but I think it gives you such a good basis, doesn't it, the course at school, that it perhaps leads you to believe that you are able to do whatever you want to do, even though it's such a competitive field.
Yeah, I know, because I remember the textile department started, I think, around that time, because it used to be extracurricular, but then as the demand grows, the girls wanting to do textiles at that time.
It's a really popular A-level subject now, and ceramics as well, and and it's certainly not the easy option. It's a lot of work. You do have to put a lot of work into it, but I think if you've got that sort of creative aptitude, it's a fantastic subject to choose. And I think sometimes for Chinese families and Hong Kong families, they've always had this mindset that they will go down very traditional routes of business and maths and science subjects. So I think it's nice that now, I think it's changed a lot. In the last 10 years, certainly I've noticed that Hong Kong girls are now allowed to study those, what their parents perhaps would have thought of as being slightly softer subjects. Yeah. But they can see the importance of them and how they do lead on to, some quite valuable careers afterwards. And they're doing something that they really enjoy doing as well.
Yeah, because as well as not just about because we're talking about ceramics and textiles, but the creative side, but as well as Mayfield offer really strong sciences, who have a really strong sciences.
Oh yes, and maths and further maths are really popular subjects for A-level. I think the majority of girls did do maths as their third A-level subject this year. And obviously the science subjects as well. The STEM program is really strong. So anybody who's thinking about doing medicine or veterinary science or dentistry at university will have a very structured 2-year pathway towards doing those courses, and will help them to get things like work experience, which obviously are really, really important if you do want to study those subjects at university.
Yeah, and I remember we used to have after school activity clubs about, I think it's animal or environmental, that kind of thing. And then used to have guinea pigs down in law school somewhere.
I think there's still a few pets on the school site, but it's mainly horses these days. So obviously we do have the equestrian centre on the school campus. So some of the girls do bring their own horses to school. Not so popular yet with Hong Kong girls, I would say. I don't think horse riding is a huge thing, is it, in Hong Kong? But certainly in mainland China, it's become much more important. And we do have a few girls who are enrolled on it's quite a sort of top-level equestrian program, not just for beginners, but it's a very popular program. But, there's lots of clubs that are related towards the environment, or they have things like a forensics club, a dissection club. So somebody who's doing biology A-level might really enjoy doing that as an add-on to their academic curriculum.
Oh, that's good.
So, it's probably about 50 or 60 different clubs and activities that the girls can do every week. So there's never any reason to be bored and not to fill your time.
And I remember if you're interested in any areas, then the school hasn't have a club yet, girls are encouraged to start up their own as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So they can introduce the idea, and that club will then get formed. Yeah. So, there's been some quite random ideas, but I think that's probably how the dissection club started, actually.
Yeah, because it wasn't in my time.
No. And they have a muddy boot walking club. So they put their wellies on and go for muddy walks across the field. So that's quite an interesting one that I hadn't heard of that one before.
Well, speaking of the going for a walk, I actually miss the countryside, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because, well, I come from a concrete city, like as a city girl, so I wasn't quite, I struggled to adapt at the first few months.
It's a shock, isn't it,
Yeah.
to suddenly come from somewhere like Hong Kong to come to somewhere like
In the middle of
Mayfield,
nowhere,
which is
that's
a
what-
very, very small place. But I suppose the good thing about it is it's not very far from anywhere. It doesn't take long. I mean, in Hong Kong, you can spend an hour getting across the city, can't you? Whereas, from Mayfield, you can be in London
Yeah.
in an hour. So it's actually quite convenient. But I think what I think is really nice is that when you're at school, you don't have the distractions
Yes, true.
of city life. You're not in a school in the middle of the city where you might have a free lesson. You think, oh, I'm not going to go and study. I'm going to go and have a coffee with my friends. There isn't really so much option to do that, is there, at Mayfield?
Yeah.
So when you're at school, you study, but then at the weekend, if you want to go out of school and meet your friends in London, you can do that as well.
Yeah. And it's such a nice environment because I'm not sure it's still here because we used to have a hub.
Yeah.
In
Sixth
the
form
main-
hub.
No,
Was
we
that
used to
all?
have a hub by the main school toilets.
Okay.
Is it still there?
I think they've
closed
now
it?
do have this new building, which is like a sixth
Oh.
form hub. So they've got a coffee bar there
so-
and
so
all that kind of thing. So
Probably just move it there.
yeah, I
Because they
think,
have
I think
space in
it's
there.
just gone into probably a bigger, more purpose-built
But yeah,
building.
and it's really valuable having that countryside and a place when you're very busy with your academics and all your studies and all the things going on in your daily life. It's just so important having that peace.
Bit of breathing space.
Yeah.
And I think it's very good for your mental health, isn't it, to get out
Yes.
into the countryside and just have that peace and quiet and a bit of downtime away from the hustle and bustle of the city. So, yeah, I think, I'm sure it is a shock for girls to come from large cities when they first arrive, but they do seem to enjoy it. And, from what you've said yourself, you had a good experience there and you probably really relished it after a while. And it probably was quite hard then to go back and live in a city full time.
It is. And it's pretty hard to get that kind of environment, especially when you're working as well. But I saw actually on the OC News, there's a new well-being centre open, isn't it?
Yeah, they literally just opened it. Since I've been away, actually. It opened about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So, again, that is designed to support girls because I think there's been a lot more issues with things like anxiety and well-being is much more mentioned, isn't it, these days? So I think the idea is to have this quite tranquil place where maybe they could go and do some yoga, they can do some relaxing. They have obviously the medical attention there if they need it, but it's more about the holistic approach rather than, treating a headache with a paracetamol. It's more about looking after the whole person and learning techniques to help you to relax and how to switch off from your studies. And because I think that has been quite a difficult thing for students since COVID probably, and with that time when they were spent studying at home and they were perhaps in their home countries again, it was quite hard to get back into school, into the routine, and to do exams, perhaps external exams for the first time. I think they have found it more stressful than in previous years. So it's finding those techniques, isn't it, how to help you cope with the stress.
It is, because as an international student, because when you started, I remember started a struggle, especially learning in a second language. And then maybe if you come into like year 10, 11, facing that kind of examination stress and that pressure. So it's a lot of going on, and as well as being away from your parents, from your families. So it's a lot to deal with. And I think that lots of people or families, they underestimate the importance of having that support.
I don't think they can imagine how difficult it is.
Okay.
I think even however good your language skills are, it's still a huge shock, isn't it, when you first come to the UK and you listen to a completely different way of talking, different accent, a lot of idiomatic English spoken, slang English spoken. I think it's really difficult to get kind of tuned in, isn't it, to start with?
Yeah, and especially I remember, and just not about the Wellbeing Centre or just not a place, but as a school in general, having that Catholic beliefs and ethos. I think as a community also is doing a great job.
Did you feel very well supported
Yes.
when you first started?
Yes. Not just first started, but the whole way through, to be honest. Because to extend, actually, it's a little story to share, but I actually had a teacher that's following through the whole 6 years journey in Mayfield. And I'm really, I don't have words to, I can't find words to express my gratitude towards that. Because it's, I guess in the first place, I was put into her math group, and then later on, we used to have the Newton math group and the normal math group. So I was put into her Newton math group again. So coincidentally, I think I just stuck with her for 4 years. But over the time in middle school, I kind of had some ups and downs and struggled with my GCSE exams and time management and all those. So was a bit unstable with my emotions as well. So, but the teachers really helped me through. So whenever I walked into her classroom, she would just put down all the work and she did what she was doing and then just talk to me. So I know there's always someone to support me.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
Yeah, and when I progressed to sixth form, I'm pretty sure the head of middle school and head of sixth form, they sat down and might have purposely put me into her tutor group as well. So I end up with a teacher. We tease each other saying that we stuck with each other for 6 years. But it's that and community, and because everyone is a small school, as you said, is everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
And it's always there to look after each other, to take care. So when I had a smooth transition to sixth form, knowing that there's always teachers knowing what's going on with me, and then there to support, and I'm all assured. So it's that kind of secureness all.
Yeah,
It is.
and you had that sort of length of history with the school, because sometimes I do think it's a shame when girls get settled in a school and do their GCSEs, and sometimes the parents or whoever it is decides to move them for A-levels because, you know, maybe they think, oh, they need to go to a higher ranking school, they need to go to school with better A-level results. But I think quite often it could be a big mistake. If they're settled and happy in a school, they probably will get very good A-level results anyway. But it's just, sometimes it's that the grass is greener perhaps on the other side, and perhaps sometimes parents think, oh, they've been at a girls' school for so many years, they ought to try a co-ed school.
Yeah.
But again, personally, I always think that's a mistake to do that for sixth form, because I think that's the time when it's quite nice to be in a girls-only school and not having those distractions of boys. And, you know, the way girls learn, it's very different from how boys learn. They can be quite dominant in the lessons. So, you know, I think for girls coming from overseas, a girls-only school can be a real advantage.
Yeah, because it's common that pupils will look for like changing school like after GCSE, but at the end, pretty much most of us stay in Mayfield.
Yeah.
And the main reason is the people there.
Yeah.
It is that connections.
Yeah, and they get very good exam results
Yes.
as well, don't they?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think the students say they do feel well supported. They will end up leaving with very good results. They get very good careers advice. So really, why would they want to move? You know, I know some people, you know, say, oh, they want to explore themselves, they want to challenge themselves, they want a different kind of school, they want a bigger school, they want a city school. But I think perhaps A-level is not the time to experiment with these kind of things, because it's a very short period of time, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and when you go to university, you've got the chance then to live in a big city and mix with all different kinds of people.
Yeah, that's what I did. I decided
Especially Manchester.
Yeah, that's why. I was like, I have enough of the countryside. I'm going to Manchester.
Yeah,
But,
I think it's quite nice sometimes then, isn't it, to go to a university in a city that's got a bit more going on. And I think Manchester's got a very thriving student life, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So, what degree did you do, did you say?
I did fashion marketing.
Oh, you did fashion and marketing. So.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we're talking about career support and advice at school.
Okay, yes. We talked about careers, didn't we?
Yeah, so I did, I remember talking about architecture, and then because of the school having like seminars, and even there, because I told my teachers at a very early on stage in year 9, so they remember it.
Yeah.
So whenever they had this career advice for the sixth formers who are more desperate for those, they will also ask me to come along and join. So that's what really helps me to understand the path. Is it really suitable for me? And obviously, at the end, I change because I find out, actually, maybe architecture is not something that I want to do.
So what if you were now meeting somebody who's thinking about going to Mayfield, what would you tell them to do to prepare before they went, or what advice would you give them?
I think in general for international students who are looking to study abroad, actually, the first advice I would say is to give themselves 2 to 3 months to settle in. So regardless of your English level or your background. So it's because going away from home to study in a new environment is very challenging.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have that, just allow that patience to settle in, have that patience and wait and see. And of course, secondly, is trying to open up your options, try to join different things and do things that you haven't tried before.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not, well, because I joined in year 8, so I didn't have a choice. So they pretty much put every single subject on our timetable.
Yeah.
But I remember starting with Latin. So it's not a subject offered in Hong Kong.
No, of course not.
No. So that's then a challenge for me because I'm doing it in a second language as well.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then I also did classics. So actually I enjoy classics a lot because of doing all the mythologies and all those like women's and societies, that kind. And I actually carry on in my GCSE and AS level, which is lovely. And DADI was lovely. Is a great teacher that she teaches as well. And another one that surprised me is actually religious study. So,
yes, because they have to do religious studies, don't they, at school, which could be a bit of a shock to your system if you don't know what to expect.
Yeah, and sometimes students would like reluctant to do religious study because what they think is similar to Hong Kong, what they teach here is about Bible
studies and very sort of formal teaching about religion, about Christianity.
Yeah, but actually it surprised me. Actually, I was shocked when I first went to Mayfield because we did about the philosophy of religion. We were looking into cosmological arguments, the evolutions, Big Bang Theory.
Wow, in year 8.
Yes, in year 8. And our very first assignment was a 2,000-word essay on does God exist? This kind of philosophical.
Gosh, that must have been quite a challenge for you as a new student in year 8.
It is, and because in Hong Kong, at that time, I was writing about 400 words for an essay. That's about the level.
Yeah, 2,000 words is a long essay
that's
for a year 8 student, I have to say.
Yeah, so I was sitting there, I was thinking, oh my gosh, that's a lot. What should I put into the content? What argument am I using it? And then, but it really helped me to develop my research skills and analytical skills as well as the critical side.
Yeah, I think it's a really useful subject, isn't it? Because it is very philosophical and I think it goes into a lot of analysis. Yes. It really does develop your critical thinking skills.
Yes, and also allows that, I shouldn't say imagination, but that kind of freedom in a way that where you want to explore. So after acquiring that skills, so I got a C in my essay, I still remember, but acquiring that writing skill actually helps with later on with my classical civilizations and histories and geography, all those like subjects that require writing.
Anything that's discussion based or essay writing, I think. Well, our headmistress is a religious studies teacher, so I think she would be very impressed with you.
But I think it's very important that, especially when you think of religious study, it's not just Bible. Or,
no, exactly. It's studying a variety of different religions and backgrounds and philosophy. And actually, my daughter did religious studies for A-level, and not because she wanted to study about religion, but she enjoyed the philosophy aspect of it. And I think she really enjoyed finding out about different religions as well.
Yeah, I remember studying Buddhism and Jewism. Yeah, pretty much every.
Yeah, so I think she found that quite fascinating.
So that's also very important for students to try. Of course, apart from the academic side, doing activities, doing sport. Sport is the one activities that's really help people to establish friendship as well. Yeah,
it's very good bonding, isn't it? Way of bonding, I think, doing sport together, and especially when you play team sports.
Yeah, so Mayfield offered a lot of team sports. So I did hockey. So I know some girls will be in netball, maybe rounders. So that will be a summer sport as well. So.
And doing something like Duke of Edinburgh as well is a really good way of sort of team building and building your close relationship. I mean, both my daughters did Duke of Edinburgh. My elder daughter, she's 30 now, but the girls that she did Duke of Edinburgh with are still her closest friends and came to her wedding a few weeks ago. So I think, you do make lifelong friends, don't you? When you have this bonding experience, when you've been out in the cold and the rain and you've been camping, and it certainly makes you very close to your friends.
Yeah, and it's not only about camping, but also involved with volunteering work.
Yeah, of course.
And what else? I think
doing some charity work. And again, I think that's something that's really important in the school. We might have mentioned this before, that the girls are quite privileged in that school, and I think it's really important for them to be aware of the real world and to play their part in helping people who are more unfortunate than them, and developing these some skills of empathy and just not helping people for the sake of it, but having that mindset that you go through life, that you will be helping people who are less fortunate than you, and that you are very lucky that, if you're in a school like that, it's giving you a great start in life, isn't it, already?
Yeah, it's well prepared, like life later on as well. So yeah. And we also, I wanted to ask about, have you been to Life Crib before?
I haven't personally, because I started at school last autumn, and I think I was away on a recruitment trip when Life Crib took place. But I saw some video of it, and I think you must be very knowledgeable about it, having probably been to at least 6 live cribs, so you could probably talk about it better than me, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's a tradition in Mayfield, so if anyone, the audience that don't know what is a live crib, it's actually a reenaction of the nativity. So Christ was born, and actually the crib, the reenactment. So we have a procession up the high street, and then with real donkey. Is it still Hannah? I'm not sure if it's still Hannah. We have a name for Hannah. And then we will have a real baby Jesus.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Normally the Jesus will be from our old girls or maybe within the community. Yes. So it's a big event, not just the school, but the local community would join. Yeah. So it's about a week, I think. So so everyone get involved in Life Crib from year 7 all the way up to year 13, and all the staff as well. And I remember as a law school boarder in year 8, they literally just they dress us up in a yellow gown, and they put us up on the windowsill to be an angels. and then we're
all the little girls always want to be angels in the nativity plays. Yeah,
and it's fun, and I still have that memories. And although it was freezing cold, I was stood by the stained glass, but then I participate every single year because I was in the chapel choir, so I still have all the melodies and the lyrics in my mind.
Wow. And did you go and sing in the choir in other places sometimes?
Yes. So they took us sometimes up to Oxford, and then I know the scholar, the choir, also went up to Westminster Abbey to sing.
I mean, what an opportunity to say that you sang in Westminster Abbey. That's fantastic, isn't it?
I know. So there's a lot of chances, and as well as sometimes because our chapel is also open to the public, so there will be wedding take place. We also sang in a wedding as well.
Oh, lovely.
So it's great.
What an opportunity. So I think you obviously took advantage of all the opportunities you were given and made the most of your time at the school, which I think is all we could really ask of any student, is that you do want them to seize that opportunity and not feel that they've wasted their time at the school, because it's a big commitment for parents to send their children to school in the UK, not just financially but also time wise, because they won't spend so much time with them. So it's it is a big commitment, and I think parents must feel so reassured if their children have really made the most of their experience at school, have not just done well academically, but have also participated in so many things that perhaps they would never have been able to do in their own school at home. And
it's also good with the personal development, with all these soft skills. And that require later on in life as well. We're about time to end, but just want to ask if there any advice you would like to give to our international girls who want to join Mayfield.
Okay, so probably I'm more or less going to say probably what you have already said, but this is what I always say to girls when I meet them, is that make the most of every opportunity you're given. try new things that you haven't tried before. Even if you think perhaps you won't like them, just give it a go. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. But just seize the opportunity to do new things. It's a good way of making friends. I think the other thing as well is don't be frightened to talk to people. Sometimes international girls are afraid of making mistakes with their English. It doesn't matter. It's better to keep talking and making mistakes than not talking at all, or only talking if you think you've worked out a sentence that's absolutely grammatically perfect. That doesn't matter at all. You know, ask questions of the girls when you meet them. They'll be very pleased that you have asked them questions, because it breaks the ice and, you know, it'll get the conversation going. So, you know, you'll make friends then that way. So I would say just throw yourself in as enthusiastically as you can, and you'll find that the school is very welcoming.
Thank you, Vicky. So hope to see you in Hong Kong again soon.
Thank you, Jade. It's been really, really lovely talking to you today. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you. So if you have any questions about Mayfield School, so feel free to contact us or Vicky for further information. And we'll see you next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.